like that song.
That's
I
good
get a
stuff
little
there,
bit.
man.
I think it's a little better than the newer one that I had, but I have a new one that we're getting ready to drop in here that I got texted to me. I just got to get it from the phone to the computer to get it in here. That's pretty dope.
Okay, cool. I have change of music all the time, man. That's what I try to do with my shows. So what's going on today there, JB? It's Friday. It's like 60-something degrees outside. It's beautiful out there.
Up to 70. What the hell?
Yeah.
I like
67 right now. Of course, it says partly sunny. I don't see where the partly is at. I see partly cloudy.
I see partly cloudy with lots of rain up here.
Yeah. What the hell they're talking about, but whatever.
But other than that, it's a great day to be alive.
Yeah.
I did my first UFL show last night. Talking about
That's
the United
cool.
Football League. That was fun. I get to cover the Panthers, of course.
Cool.
Oh, it's nice when you get to walk in and they say, "Yeah, we'll give you this team," and they're on the top.
Did you see that the UFLPA settled their contract?
Yep, and it did for another 4 years, I believe it was. That's what they did.
It's the end of 2026.
Yeah, okay. So it's this year and next year. So they're not going to have a walkout here because they were talking about by week 4 or 5 they were going to have a walkout.
Yep.
We just saw the replacements all over again in real life.
Right. On a lower level. It's like the replacements.
It would have been replacements were the replacements. Is what it would have been.
Rated C because that's what it would have been.
Somebody called the CFL. We can't get these bums in here.
What's going on, Steve?
Oh, Steve in the chat?
Mm-hmm. Blue Sky, Trace, Eric. Yeah.
Comments are coming up on my end. That's weird. There they go. Hallelujah. There we are. There everybody is. You got Eric with. As soon as you started saying hi to people, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, the link is in. Come on in, Keegan. Any chance of Cloudy with a chance of meatballs every time. You know who we haven't seen yet?
What's up, Brent?
Oh, there's a big chance of meatballs tonight because I'm making spaghetti.
There you go.
Spaghetti is good any time of year meal.
I'm doing it big tonight. I'm having steak. You got so much stuff going on today. It's hilarious.
I had last night with steak.
Did you have your tomahawk yet?
Not from Ricky yet, but I had one.
That's good.
Mouth watering, big motherfucker.
What did you go somewhere and get it, or did you just somebody got you? Cool.
Right here. I always.
That's how you got to do it.
You got to cook at home. If you don't cook at home, you're paying through the nose. I mean, that steak alone, because you're talking about almost a 2-pound steak, is $35.
Mm-hmm.
No holla.
Mm-hmm. Happy Friday to you, Brent.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is Fuck Your Feelings Friday for the other fan bases. So, Steve, don't get hurt.
Keegan eating his lunch.
I got my lunch. I'm two-fisting the coffee today. Look at that.
There you go. There you go. I got mine.
One in Lions colors, and one is a Lions one.
There you go. That one's like this one.
Walmart.
They're about the same, yeah.
Yeah, just mine don't have the handle. That's it. Matt Henry. Good to see you, brother.
Matt Henry.
So let's go through these. I'm just going to pop them all up so they know I'm acknowledging them, because otherwise Ken will come in and start running it, and I don't need it. But it is so great to see everybody. And that's the last of them right there. Done them all.
Trace is up there. She
just came up with another one.
Yeah.
Waiting for USPS to get here with some more Lion stuff. Yeah,
I know that's right. Keep it coming. That's what I'm saying.
Now you know why she calls me her brother. That's my sister from another mister.
Sister from another mister. I like that.
I do got to at least get me one Panthers shirt now so I can go on that show and look like I represent, because I was wearing my Lions hoodie. I
was looking at the jerseys too. I was like, damn, it's like they're expensive.
Right.
Like what's 72? I forgot what they are. Like 72, 70. I mean,
To
in
100.
relatively to a NFL jersey,
I
yeah,
mean,
they're not
they're
expensive.
they're
But
they're half the 2/3 of the cost of an NFL jersey. It depends on whether it's a star from the team or just a normal player. The normal players are all around 70, $72. That's what I thought.
see.
But I will tell you one thing: they got one hell of a kick returner for the Panthers. Devin Ross in 3 games has 311 kick return yards on 10 returns.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how they're working their roster right now because they got that Cam guy in trade for Sims, which I didn't like that too much.
Right.
Away from their offense, but you're not even playing the damn guy that you got in the trade. Come on.
Right.
Sound like the damn Lions sometimes.
I wish that was Keegan Michael Peel. I wish if he was coming on, y'all be happier than a pig in shit.
Shoot, that would be a show right there.
Yeah,
Not that
I'm working,
but that would be really nice.
I am working on them because I did actually get, you know how you got that one time you can do an invite on Instagram. I gave him one. Said, hey, I'm a Lions podcaster. I'd love to have you on, and I can't afford shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather tell people that up front. You know, why lie? Why sugarcoat it? Oh, I'm just trying to boost my ratings. Come on in.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Work it.
I am working it. I also got a guy that owns his own IPA, and he has like a microbrewery in his own bar. And he calls it Pure Beer Michigan. Oh, look, we got Steve. Waiting for his device connect, though. So his cam says, yeah, I'm in. There it goes. And we got Steve.
What up, Steve?
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Not much.
I'm all right.
I don't really see the first scenario for Detroit. I think the furthest they'll go back, at worst, let's say they end up with a 10-win season, would be 3rd place. That's at worst, because I think all of us are going to be right there. The wins are going to be between 8 and 12. For the entire
you were on the Ken and Ken show, so you know they're going to say the Lions are going to go from first to worst because you know that's just a haterade.
Hey, JB, you know, you always have good football knowledge. It's one reason why I always like your shows and talking to you and whatever and stuff. Like I know I can, like you and Main Event Mike, I can ask the real questions and you guys give the good, positive feedback. The thing is, do you see this offense, the Lions offense, changing much with the new quarterback?
I do see it changing. What I do see change. Yes, you can go, Pat. Go. Come on in. I'm not going to stop you. JB, your honesty is what brings me in. You own your mistakes and obviously don't hide from them. Thank you. You know, and that's the way everybody should be. If you make a mistake, let's say you do report one of those rumors, and I've done it on this show since I've been back out of my incarceration and got called out by Bill, and I apologize for it right there on the air. As soon as I got called out, I was like, I'm sorry. I saw it at 2 a.m. I saw it again at 7 a.m. I didn't look before I went live. So I apologize. That's what you're supposed to do.
You're a human being. Everybody makes mistakes, man. That's fact of life.
So what changes you see happening?
I see less of the major trick plays. I don't think we'll be doing many of them. I think we'll be doing just as many of the play action passes because that's Jared Goff's bread and butter, and he's one of the best in the league at it. So
you don't see a lot of the going for it on 4th down.
That's a Dan Campbell. That's a Dan Campbell decision.
But that has gotten less every year. See, in his first year, we did it almost 40% of the time. The second year, we did it 38% of the time. The third year, we did it 36% of the time. And last year, we only did it 32%. So every year, it's gotten less.
Now, is this new guy, is he going to want to run the ball more or pass more?
And he is kind of a balanced guy.
Balanced? Okay.
He's balanced. He was with the Denver Broncos last year. You can look at that. He was with them and Sean Payton. He helped Bo Nix get better. So he came from he came from, I don't know where he was before the Lions, but
what was his name?
John Morton.
Oh, Johnny Morton. Okay. Oh, the old receiver.
No. Not that Johnny Morton.
John Morton, not Johnny. Hey, that's why I said it the right way.
Oh, okay. So it's not the old Lions receiver?
It's not the old
No.
Lions receiver. The Lions
Oh, okay.
receiver it has retired from high school coaching and now does announcing for like
Oh,
2 or 3.
okay. Okay.
But at the same time, he was here in 2021 when we hired Lynn, and he was one of the assistants that stuck around. And he was here during that beginning of the offseason when they said Jared Goff is going in with Ben Johnson to find plays that fits his thing. That guy helped build a playbook with that's where he was. He was with the Rams. So he knew what Jared Goff can and can't do.
Okay.
I think we're going to see more of the downfield stuff because he's actually been getting better at it every year. I think he was third in downfield passing at a completion percentage over 25 yards last year. So
he had 9 passes over 50 yards, which led to NFL.
Right.
And J-Mo's going to be more their down the field. Why St. Brown's more their running across and
I still think we need another one of those guys because Tim Patrick, as I've said, is held together with scar tissue and duct tape, and he's over 30 years old. Eventually, it's going to break.
Do they still have Tim?
Yeah, we re-signed him.
Resigned him? Okay. Because that means you guys lost a receiver.
We brought Antoine Green back.
Yeah.
Who did we lose?
I don't think we lost any receivers.
Reynolds?
No, Reynolds is still here. What do you mean, Reynolds? Josh Reynolds? Josh Reynolds is.
Oh, Josh Reynolds has been gone.
He's on Jaguars now.
Okay, well,
Johnny Morton is the WMU bro. Johnny Morton. You see how they're spelled different? Johnny is with IE, and then Johnny. I just say John because then it's.
Yeah.
Because I can't
He's
think
the same age as me.
I can't think where this receiver went. That was with you guys, and he went somewhere this year.
Josh Reynolds disappeared off the face of the planet when he left, but just like he disappeared in that NFC Championship game.
I think this guy's name started with the letter K.
Khalif Raymond?
Yeah.
No, Khalif Raymond's still with
us.
He's
on the roster.
Oh, he's okay. I know this. I think this name's. Maybe I'm mistaken then. Maybe I'm mistaken.
I know Khalil Dorsey is gone, I think. Hey, look at this. I believe this.
No, Khalil Dorsey's still with us. He's a special teamer.
That sucks. But anyway, waiting for Keegan's.
Well, he's a special team.
Keegan!
How's it going?
Good.
What's going on, Keegan?
Happy Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Fridays. But John Morton helped develop that playbook. So I still think it's going to change. What I don't think will change is Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's still going to complete between that 64.5 to 67% completion percentage. He's still going to be at least a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio guy.
Yeah, I think we're going to run a little bit more.
We hit 2,000 yards rushing last year and still hit 4,400, 500 yards passing.
Yeah.
Because all right, reinforcements are here. Yes, Nicholas. I put it in the chat because I know we go into the Huddle Sports Network, and I don't mind when other fans of the teams in this network come on, because guess what? We're all in here together as human beings. Treat each other like a human being. Talk shit about the teams if you want, but don't talk shit about each other.
No, I've known JB for some time, and I've always respected him, like him and others, like I said, they're classy guys.
I will ask you, because I heard this last year, and you were on that show when that certain podcaster said it. And I said, they're going to wait till the last minute to do the 5th-year option on Hutchinson and JMO, and then re-sign them after. What's it looking like?
Yeah.
They're probably going to just wait to sign him, yeah.
Yeah. They're waiting till the last minute. They'll get him.
Well, also, so right now is the question was Zadarius Smith. That could be a last-minute signing, too.
Well, that is on Zadarius Smith now because they literally said, we've done all we can do. We are not reaching out to them anymore. It'll be up to the agent and Zadarius Smith to contact us from here on out. I got that last night as a notification.
So, to answer this, Bill, I love both Georgia's guards. If Tate Ratledge is there at 60, take him. If not, if we have to wait for a guard in the 3rd round and Fairchild's there, take him.
See, I like Ratledge as well. I hope we get him in the third or fourth round. Like with the first pick, if we stay at 23, the only guy that I feel if he's there or any of it is one of the defensive tackles. Like the number one is Kenneth Grant. If not him, Harmon. If we don't, other than that, I know we need, because it really sounds like we are going to trade Jair. And I mean, that really is, is really hitting the fans now. Go ahead.
Ask you, I was going to say, what if you package 23 and Jair to move up?
Well, see, now that's what I was getting at. What I was getting at is if not at 23, I either say we move up, or we're going to move back, depending on how the board falls. Because I heard Goody's press conference, and he says he wants more picks. Now he still can get picks all throughout day 1, day 2, day 3. We have
John
8
Dorn.
picks.
Holy crap! Stop the press. John Dorn talking about an actual draft pick for the Packers instead of trashing all the other teams. Mark it on the calendar.
Oh, he did say same old lines. So. He
Yeah,
did come out here with the same old lines, though.
He keeps on thinking that we're going to trade back and take an offensive tackle, whatever. And if that happens, I'm going to spear his ass.
All right. Old Matt Forte, Bilal Powell at running back, Jermaine Kurt. He's talking about all the people that were on that Jets roster.
Jets team.
When Johnny Martin was the OC. They had a trash roster on offense. They had a decent defense. They've always got a decent defense, though. You ever notice that? As bad as that offense is, that defense is always up there in that top 20 every time. It never falls below 20. And I think a couple of years it was even number 1 in the league, if I remember right, back there in the 90s and early 2000s.
What do you guys think of Genty? Honest opinion.
Honest opinion, I think he is a great north and south runner. I think he lacks the elusiveness to be a super impact in the NFL. I think he'll make an impact. But guess what? He's going to be basically David Montgomery without the receiving skills because he don't have them. We saw that against Penn State because they were stopping the run. They tried to throw to him, and he had hands like butter.
All right, then what running back would you want if you had to choose?
I want Omarion Hampton over him, the guy that's number 2. I think he's a more complete. He's very close to like what Jared Gibbs is.
Because I still see I see Dallas somehow ending up with Genty.
Yeah, so this is for everybody who thought Dan Campbell don't call plays. He calls plays. He did this after he fired Lynn.
And that's the other thing. Genty played against a bunch of nobodies in the Mountain West Conference too.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as you hate to say it, the one thing that the Cowboys still did good, they were good at run blocking. They didn't have any good runners. They had the AARP running back room of what was that? AP and Zeke and then whoever else.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the Micro Machine show of Romeo Dardell and the other kid that was out of K-State.
Okay, Sarah asked me a question on that, Jimmy. If whoever asked that question, the JMO thing.
I've only seen out of 2 sources. That's all I got to say.
I ain't taking nothing away from JMO at all. Now, because she asked me who would I rather have, JMO or Addison. I said Addison because one, I think Addison has the tools. The thing is, he's getting shadowed by JJ. And of course, JJ is probably like the top receiver in the league. So that's not nothing. Well, I'm just saying.
Well, Chase was 1 and he was 2, because I mean, you know.
I know. I'm just being a smartass. It's like not last year.
I mean, St. Brown, I will not take nothing. He reminds me in a way of Hines Ward, and I hope you guys don't take that as a knock because I think Hines Ward was an actual good.
Steve, you're not the first one that said that either.
Really?
Somebody else compared him to Hines Ward. Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard that.
I mean, those are the type of receivers I like. I even see St. Brown like a Donald Driver.
See, with St. Brown being our 1 as far as money's concerned, that should tell you where it's going to fall because JMO is our 2 to Amon-Ra St. Brown, correct? Nobody's
Yeah.
doubting that. So
No-
if St. Brown is making 33 million and the cap goes up anywhere from 10 to 20 million dollars every year, at minimum. That's a minimum that it goes up every year. It's been 30 million the last 2 years in a row, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That means JMO will get probably between 18 and 27 million dollars as a wide receiver too.
Now, wasn't there times JMO did some crazy things on the field, like I think there was one game he took his time getting back to the line of scrimmage when the clock was running. He could have got back there quicker. He gave the Lions,
That was
whatever.
mostly his rookie year. Look at this, we got the Butt-Chin Padawan on a day.
So, Will?
I saw the
Well,
link above. I'm like, how did everyone else show? And then I'm like, oh, duh.
I know people overplay a lot of things that JMO's done. And it's true. There's things that he's done that's made that he needs to mature in, but it's not like he's out there doing A/B kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I want to throw all that stuff out the window because, like I said, the first year he didn't play because of his injury. They were making sure he healed from it. The second part, that betting when you're inside the facility crap was a bunch of BS anyway. NFL makes up stuff as they go along, so that I forgave him for because it's a mistake.
Stuff.
The thing with the gambling,
yeah, go ahead. Keenan.
the thing with the gambling stuff was a bunch of other people were doing it. It wasn't just him.
Yeah,
He got more of the stick than everyone else.
So here's what I got
What's
to say
up,
about
Robbie?
it. That whole thing was because there was 8 low-level player assistants and coaches that were fired for the gambling before he even got caught. That's what turned the eye about the gambling onto them. And he was literally in the hotel room in Green Bay, waiting to play Green Bay to bet on Alabama football that night.
Who was the other player a long time ago who gambled and got in trouble?
Quintez Cephas gambled on the Lions that season because he was on the IR. But even though he was on the IR, guess what? Goodbye.
Yes.
Bye. You got
there you go, Steve.
Okay, so Will Vogel, I got a guy that asked your question. He wants your opinion on it. JMO, when he comes up and gets his contract, whether it's done this year or done later in the year before the 5th year starts, for every year after the 5th year, because we already heard from Brad that they're doing the 5th year option, which tells me they're not trading him in this draft because there would be no reason when you can do the 5th year after the draft and not have all the guaranteed money connected for dead cap going into the season. So when they do that, where do you think his money falls? And keep in mind that Amon-Ra makes 33 million as our number 1.
Because what's weird is JMO and them got in trouble, but they didn't get in trouble like Pete Rose did.
Right. Because they did. Okay, now
I'm thinking like 15.
I think you're on the low end because on Sport Track
maybe 20.
They said a minimum of 18 up to 27 is what they
said. You know what? I would say, okay.
I'm just letting you know what they said. You already gave your opinion.
No, I agree. I say, how much does Raw make?
33.
I'd say 20. 20 is a good number.
If we get him at 20, it's a steal for what wide receiver 2s are getting.
Is Goff the highest?
Goff is not the highest
on the team.
No.
Oh, on the team, yes.
On the team.
I thought you meant quarterback period.
No, I mean on the line.
Yeah, no, I got
a question for Steve there.
That sounds like a good number.
What do you think about Jordan Phillips in this draft?
Steve?
Jordan Phillips?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. On any. I can't really have opinion on anybody really in this draft class.
Are you like me? As soon as you found out it was a trenches class, you kind of checked out of watching college football, other than the team you follow.
Well, yeah, but it just seems like I learned over the years. One, like I think you said, I think I heard you were going to say, you don't fall in love with players. You just can't do that. Everybody wants these first players in the first round. To me, I like players in the later rounds. There's where I get excited.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so forth. Even I even get excited over the undrafted free agents.
Oh,
because
I
there's a lot of stars that come out of that whatever that no names you do whatever, like, wow, where'd this guy come from?
Okay.
Like, wow.
Yep. Okay, right here. Damn, less than a week at 28. Well, let's see. Perry Arnold was picked at about 10 p.m. at pick 24, which means about 10:30 at the earliest.
10:30,
You'll see
11.
yeah, it'd be 10:30, quarter to 11. Right in that area is where we'll see 28 picks.
Unless Brad makes some magic and trades up.
Jamie will have a breakout year this way. Yeah, I know there's only one ball to go around, and I still think we're going to have another wide receiver after this draft. James was going to ask for 28 to 30.
I agree.
That's somebody that isn't even a Lions guy.
I agree.
Well,
with
I'm gonna put it to you like this. Steve brought up a point that he thinks Jordan Addison's better than JMO, but Jordan Addison makes $13.7 million a year on his contract right now. So if you're looking based at, I would probably be in 15 to 20 for JMO, but he ain't getting 40. He ain't getting 30. He ain't getting 25. Nope, ain't happening.
Like I said, it will not be north of 30, but it'll be under 30 is what I was getting at. That was my point. He's going to make at least $3 million less.
And how many years?
Probably 4. 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years with a void year. So Keegan, opinion I was telling JB, is this who you would want to draft to sit behind Hutchinson just in case Hutch gets injured again this upcoming year?
First, the one thing I'm going to say who I don't want is Davenport.
Yeah.
Davenport.
Oh, God.
I think that's a consensus among all Lions fans.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm still mad we signed Davenport. I thought it was the most useless. That's a signing. That's as useless.
That's a roster. That's a roster spot that we just are giving up.
Go ahead,
JB.
That's just as useless as tits on a boar hog.
What do you guys want to see in the first round? What do you want really the Lions to do?
I have
your guard.
I have 5 guys. One of them's a guard. The other 4 are edge. And I'm going to start at the one at the top. And I've been thinking about it. It's not Mike Green. It's that Donovan.
Ozaraku.
Yep, out of
Boston College.
Out of Boston College. JT Tomalasso.
High State.
And then it's Landon Power Jackson or Nick Scorton. Those 4. The other guy I want is Tate Rutledge if none of them are there.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because you go to different big boards, Tate Rutledge actually rates out way higher than people think.
So I was looking at a mock the other day, and I saw James Pierce, the really good guy, go to the Eagles. I'm like, please, God, don't let the Eagles get him.
Yeah, there's a lot of knock on Pierce.
He's good.
He is good,
field issues.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of off-field issues.
And that's why I didn't include him in my 4. Talent-wise, I'd love him. But it's just like anybody else that we love that has the off-field issues. We don't usually get them.
Well, your first guy that you said, I was a rocker from Boston College. I can see if, I don't know, at 23 maybe, but if we would trade back, get with him, because he would fit good with us because Halfley was from Boston College, and Halfley would know him.
Yep.
Cool question, Steve.
Yeah.
Talking about trade back. I know this is the in-division trade, but would you guys willing to trade for Lions 28 if we were to give you something?
Me, yeah. I mean, the couple years before we traded up with Minnesota, we gave them our 2 second-round picks to move up to get Christian Watson.
Great.
So,
You traded with Minnesota after we made the trade to get Jameson Williams.
yes.
Because we gave up what was that? The Rams pick and that pick, 32 and 34 to move up to 12, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Goody's probably like, well, if Minnesota's going to do that, we're going to do it too.
No, Minnesota didn't trade up. I am ABS. Anybody but Shamar Stewart, dude. ABS. He doesn't have the production. That's why I said Landon Power Jackson over him. I like Landon Jackson way better. Similar size, similar build, better overall production.
So what? Nobody likes this Shamar Stewart.
Lack of production and
lack of production.
Wow.
It's the dude has a 20% tackle deficit, man. He doesn't know how to tackle. This is the reason why he's only got 1.5 sacks in all his career. He over pursues. He's a fast, talented guy. And don't get me wrong, his athletics are great. But the problem with him is he doesn't pay attention to the play. He's always going for the kill on the quarterback, and he's really not paying attention to run to the outside, which the Lions in general need their defensive ends to stop the run as well. That's what Hutchinson is good at, as too. So I just don't see him coming to us. I like the Nick Scorton though. I like Nick Scorton. He's the better of the two from Texas A&M.
The player that like I know me and Ken, Ken, the Packer fan that with the beard, we both seeing us like if we would trade up to get McMillan. But you know what? I actually want Jaden Higgins more than McMillan.
Kitty Ken's making an appearance right now. Wait a minute, it's Kitty Ken. I just saw him.
Ken, how are you, sir?
We don't want Higgins in the NFC North.
You like that one? Huh?
Oh my God!
You like that one, don't you, Steve?
Kitty Ken.
Oh, wow!
How you doing? Dude, I remember the night Jeremy every time was like, okay, Ken, what about meow?
Meow.
Oh, you gotta do it right. It's like, how you doing, meow?
Yeah.
But no, I want Jaden Higgins. It's the top receiver that I want in this draft.
Why do you like Jaden Higgins over McMillan?
I hate to add on for you, Steve, but Higgins is he's like a DK Metcalf-esque.
Okay, I got a question for Steve here. But I got to get up. Steve, who do you really want to draft for the Packers? Any special players?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like I said, if we stick at 23, I hope we get a guy like Kenneth Grant or one of the defensive tackles, one of the top, whatever. If not that, if we trade up, now see, McMillan can drop, and there's also talks that Will Johnson can drop. Now, who was it that asked me, would we trade Alexander into 23 to move up? Now, that could be a real precise thing there if that would happen, if we would move up and if he would fall and get Will Johnson.
Right.
That was me.
Yeah, but he goes, Higgins can be had in the second or third, so you're better off to pick the other picks in the first round. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to wait for Higgins, he'll be there in the second round for you.
Oh, right. That's what I want him. Every time we draft a receiver in the second round, he turns out to a star.
Whereas Tate Rutledge, when I looked at all the big boards combined, in one big board, he's sitting at about 30th. On the other big board, he's sitting at 102, which is just inside the end of the third round, which means anywhere from the back half of the first round all the way to there is where they expect him to fall. Technically, that's your window, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've seen on PFN, he's like ranked 60 right now.
Who?
Right. PFN.
Rutledge.
Tate Rutledge.
What's Restrepo rated on PFN?
102.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And John agrees with you. Trey Harris in the second round.
You know what move I think the Broncos are going to make in like the second or third round? I think
they're
they're going
getting
to
a
go
receiver.
after. Yeah, I think they're going to go after that Oregon receiver because he grew up with Bo Nix.
Right. You know what I think is going to be crazy that happens? Travis Hunter doesn't get picked till they pick.
I saw a mock where Shador drops all the way to 19 to the Steelers.
I've seen
And
him
I'm like,
drop.
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
It's either if I was to drop as Steelers, but who knows? Because there is a couple of needy teams at the back end in the first round.
I saw where Shador is going to get drafted by the Giants too. So I mean,
I
there's a whole bunch
yeah,
of scenarios.
and you know
that
what?
could go.
I get Shador. I get it. But I'm more of a Jackson Dart
Look
fan.
at that. Dwayne Keene in the chat. How you doing, buddy?
What's up,
Same
Dwayne?
here, Will.
But Bill T has another question. Yeah, I was going to say Steelers picked 21, not 19. But
Yeah.
anyways, question number 2 for Steve. Do you think Jordan Love can really improve this season from last season, can actually make it out of a wild card round during the playoffs? I said, his year 1, he made it out of the wild card round. It was the divisional round he couldn't get past.
Well, on paper, I like our offensive line now. With Myers gone, Jenkins moved over to center, with Banks going out of left guard. Our offense line right now looks a lot better than what it did last year. I can see, Jordan Love wasn't really sacked all that much last year, so that's a good thing.
Right.
So I'm just saying, it's on paper. Things are looking good with this offensive line. I mean, I'm excited. I think our run game is going to be a little bit better now, because a buddy of mine here in town, he's a 49ers fan, and when I told him that we got Aaron Banks from San Francisco, he goes, "You guys just got a great guy."
Jags will draft Genty. You know what's funny though? With a guy like Travis at the end, Genty would fit there.
Well, there's also
and anybody that has a speedy back but doesn't have a true power back, Genty's a fit. You know what the bad part is? You're going to have 3 guys that run exactly like Genty on the Cowboys roster, and 2 guys that are so small they can't get the speed.
And exactly. And you know what? I'm happy JB and I think alike. Do not sleep on Omarion Hampton. I talked to my coworker who's in his 80s about football, and he's a UNC fan. And he's like, "Who do you think from UNC? Like, is there anybody in the draft that's getting slept on?" I said, "Yeah, Omarion Hampton."
Well, he's not really being slept on. He's not being
slept on, but not.
Would there be anything the Lions would do that would upset you Lion fans right here in the first round?
In the first round, Shamar Stewart or a quarterback in the first round. That's it. Either one in the first round, I'm upset.
I'm actually a Panther/Lion fan, but
I wouldn't like them picking a receiver in the first round either.
It depends. Like if somebody like McMillan flies through and they're sitting there at 28 because of the size, I'm not upset.
I think we're fine at wide receiver right now. I don't think we need another receiver.
Hey,
okay.
JB,
where does Steve rank J-Mo against the Packers wide receiver room? One Packer fan said 3rd.
That's a good question.
I thought so.
That's a good question.
Because pick their noses.
I think J-Mo's like right there. I think any of our receivers are right there with J-Mo. Except, not the backup like Bo Melton, no. But I think, to me, if Christian Watson would have never ever gotten hurt, especially like this year, I think he could have did better. He could have done more.
That's like asking Aaron Rodgers not to play 5 snaps when you include his ankle in the first game of the Jets his first year there. But anyway.
JB, I have a question. Did Jaden Daniels went to Arizona, right? Or no, Arizona, was it Arizona or Arizona State before LSU?
Arizona State.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say, did he play with McMillan? But I forgot he went to ASU, not Arizona.
I see a lot of mocks having Carolina taking McMillan.
You can't count on Jameson Williams on your receiving group. I think you should get a receiver. I agree. I think we should get a receiver, but in the first round, I don't agree with it. Is what I'm getting at.
Well, I don't know why you can't count on J-Mo.
He only missed 2 games last year.
And he was that, and those weren't because of him. I mean, those were like suspensions? Those two
suspension because of the change by his doctor for his AD.
Yeah, that's a stupid thing too. That's another dumb thing.
Uh,
But he still
comment of
got
the day.
1,000 yards.
The one and only delusional Doran is in the chat.
Mm.
He got over 1,000 yards. He had 200 yards more than Jordan Addison. He had 7 touchdowns, so he didn't miss much. And he played less games.
Mm-hmm.
And he blocks.
Yeah, he
So
blocked
good.
downfield.
Now, Steve, I've also seen mocks where the Panthers get Will Johnson, which I would love to, but I don't know if he falls that far.
You're not that far down.
Well, like I said,
8 or 9.
Yeah, and you know what? Other than like Jeff Okuda, which was stupid, and Charles Woodson and Deion Sanders, how many are picked in the top 5 for cornerback?
We're also projected to get a D tackle to pair with Derek Brown, or we may get Mason Graham.
But
we don't know yet.
But there's something that we all have to look at. Like, you never know what to expect. Like, what teams are going to surprise and trade up. Like you guys sit there like years ago when Detroit traded. What was you guys pick? You guys went and you traded all the way up to Minnesota to get JMO.
12. We gave up the 32 and the 34, and we didn't give up anything else. It was worth it.
Right. Okay. See, this is where my mind is set. Like, what's going to be the shocking things in hell? Like, wow, like where the hell did this come from? Like, wow. Like back in the day, Ditka traded every draft pick he had to get Williams.
Ricky
Williams.
Yeah.
And see, this is why I'm trying to tell people, like, everybody see these mock drafts and we're all talking, we're all having fun. But then again, when that draft day starts, and as you know, we're all, what? Well, then, okay, this just shook the first round up. Here we go.
The GM just said they're not getting a quarterback at 1 last night in their presser for Tennessee. He literally came out. Yeah, they are not taking a quarterback at 1, and more than likely they're taking Abdul Carter.
That's
what I heard.
2, the Browns, right?
Browns are number 2. They're going to go Genty because Chubb is washed. They have
number 3 is Giant. Is it Giants?
Giants will get Travis Hunter. Giants will get Travis Hunter. What?
What now? Do you think if that said what you said there, JB?
Yep.
Would there be a team that tried to trade up with Tennessee to get Cam Ward?
Raiders or Saints.
I can see it.
Because who is the top quarterback in this draft?
Ward
by far.
Cam Ward. But the Giants are like, we've got 2 guys to sit here to help mold a guy that actually did decent when they got rid of Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, because he wasn't shaboopoo. He just needs some seasoning. And we all know that the seasoning.
Seattle.
Russell cooks with no seasoning now, and everything's bland. It's just normal.
And what's Cleveland going to do? Really?
Cleveland is not going quarterback.
Are you sure?
Yeah. If they were blowing smoke, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're getting Cam Ward." So one of those QB needy teams will give up the buttload to get him. When they sit there and say, "We're not,"
I think this is going to play well for the Giants. I think they're going to get Cam Ward because that's who they really want. They don't want Shador.
Right. That's what I've heard. Because Tennessee after Shador Sanders went down there for his second one, they shut down anything.
No, quick question: if Giants do take Cam Ward, he'd be QB3 on that roster.
Right now, yeah, because he might supplant Jameis Winston on accident. But anyway, you're talking about the 30 for 30 guy. Von Doom wants Cam Ward. He wants Cam Ward first, and then he said, if you can't get Cam Ward, then I'll take Travis Hunter, is what he said. Those his exact words.
JB, do you think they'll actually let Travis Hunter do both ways?
Hooker is trade bait, the best QB in the draft.
To answer that, Will, actually, I think Sean already came out and said that he would love to let him play both ways.
He said, yes.
That'd be crazy.
In this league,
crazy.
In the NFL, I don't want to take nothing away from Hunter, but in this league to play both ways, dude, that dude's going to be tired. He's going to get beat up. Because if he's got to play defense and hit people, then go out and take a hit as a receiver.
Oh, trust me, I've already been thinking about it.
He ain't going to last long. So that's why I want to stay away from guys like that. No. I would not want him. No.
I do not want him, Sam. I do not want green eggs and ham.
Who's that, Hunter?
Yeah.
Hunter?
Yeah. Because if he's out there on defense hitting people, then next offense comes on and goes out and takes a hit. His body's going to take a beating.
Hunter has unexpected. He's not playing both sides. I don't care who promises him that. He's not playing both sides.
I agree with you.
He can't. He can be in some packages. Charles Woodson was a way better cornerback than he was, and he was playing both sides of the ball at Michigan. And he barely, he played a pretty good amount of wide receiver, and he was a kick returner. So, and he came in the NFL, and they had some packages for him, but mainly he played cornerback. So, no, that's not happening, buddy.
I know the one linebacker I want is Jack Kaiser.
Yeah.
From Notre Dame. He is a hitting machine.
All right, Keegan and Steve, what are your guys' opinion on Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, or do you both think he'll be drafted between rounds 1 and 3, or maybe 4th?
I'm gonna say he could develop, and he could develop into a good backup, but honestly, I think he's a fourth or fifth round pick.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I agree.
I'm with you on that.
If a team didn't draft one on the first 2 rounds, and they need a guy to be a solid backup and a possible starter, that is where you may see him go at the end of the 3rd round, like in the compensatory pick. But you won't see him go before the compensatory pick of the 3rd round.
To me, Jeremy, the way that you just explained that, Tyler Shaw could easily be that guy for those teams that didn't take one round or the first round or second round guy.
I'm just shocked that no one's like, I think we should trade Malik Willis and get something.
Well, you might.
Right.
And then you could grab somebody like Dylan Gabriel or who's the other one back further in the draft.
The 2 that I want in the late rounds, I ain't going to lie to you. I want Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame or Brady Cook from Mizzou.
What about Kyle McCord?
I wouldn't mind it, but I'm stuck on Leonard and Cook.
Okay.
To me, if McCord goes to the Packers, it's just going to be another Sean Clifford experiment.
Well, I kind of felt that, but that's why I like Riley Leonard or Brady Cook.
Nobody's at the back end of the draft that nobody's going to care about, right?
Well, hey, you never know.
And Robbie says, you can keep Willis.
I'm hoping that like it's in the 6th round and we draft Riley Leonard and he's the next Tom Brady.
I'm glad I didn't have that. Never mind. I'm not even going to say it because I just like a girl.
I think that people, this draft is synonymous with the fact that you have Travis Hunter, who was the overall number 1 draft pick. He won the Heisman as a cornerback. That should tell you everything you need to know about this draft. Because if you pick a cornerback at number 1, which is very unlike any team, I think he'll be the first time they'll pick the corner at number 1.
2 times.
Who was the other
Sanders,
2?
Charles Woodson. That's it.
Charles Woodson wasn't picked number 1.
I thought he was picked number 1 by the Raiders that year.
No, he wasn't picked number 1. Dion might have been. Yeah, you might be right about that. But yeah, I just when you see a cornerback going up that far, no, this draft is not the greatest.
All right, let's welcome Go Pack Go all day. He finally made it in 10 minutes before the end of the show.
What's up, buddy?
Do you hear us?
What's up, Go Pack?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
All
Great
right.
to hear you.
Good.
I was beginning to worry. I was like, man, is he froze?
Just trying to figure out how this works.
Yep, no problem. I'm glad to see you here.
Yep.
I'm smoking Jeremy B. I know we talked probably about half a season through the chats on here.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm not the only Packer fan in here now.
He's like, I was getting claustrophobic.
Yes, we did hear it about Hunter, about him wanting to say he wants to play both sides of the ball. But every coach that's commented on it after he made that statement, well, we're going to try him out in the off season, see where he plays best, and start him there and let him develop on the other side of the ball. And I think that's the smartest thing. And if you really think about it, wide
Mhm.
receiver is a way easier transition than cornerback. So it makes sense that he'll probably start out as a wide receiver and be learning the defense in the background in practice until he gets it down, because they don't want him being out there like a typical rookie corner, making a whole bunch of penalties and hurting the team.
Well,
Mhm.
and it's a cornerback too. I mean, he's a better cornerback than he is receiver. That's the reason why he won the Heisman, because of his cornerback play on a crappy defense, no doubt. But his wide receiver play, if he goes in as a wide receiver, however, he'll get paid that wide receiver money. That's the
Right.
whole.
Yeah.
You got to think about that.
And I think that's what's actually going to be done. He'll be brought in as a wide receiver and trained as a corner.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm just glad he
Training.
won't be in Green Bay.
Mm-mm.
And you know what I'm talking about, because how many times have we seen where a corner, whether picked in the first round or the 7th round, year 3, all of a sudden they're great.
I just wonder what this draft's going to look like Thursday in Green Bay, like, because Green Bay's a small town.
Well, you know they got to have it in the parking lot and on the concourse, because there ain't no way they're going to have it in the street.
Well, I mean, I heard there was a rumor they wanted to have it actually inside Lambeau Field.
I think that's what they do. I said that right away.
And I mean,
So go Pack, go. Who do you want the Packers to draft?
I want them to draft an edge rusher or a defensive tackle for the first round. Go that route, and then go with either a wide receiver or corner on the next 2 rounds after that.
yeah.
So
What
corner would you want?
That's probably what it is. What Robbie just said here, he wants to play both positions because he's greedy and thinks he can get double pay on his second contract.
What corner would you want, Go Pack?
I haven't really decided on corner, but as far as receiver, I think Jaden Higgins would be a good fit.
Thank you.
That's Steve.
He's kind of like very similar to a Christian Watson. However, he catches almost everything.
Thank you.
Not really a fan.
In other words, he's not like Christian Watson coming out of North Dakota State University in Division II, where he had a 21% drop rate.
See, you're gonna love JB. You're gonna love this guy.
When Christian Watson is healthy and he's playing, that's usually when the Packers run really well offensively. So that's what hurt them in the playoffs against the Eagles. But if you look at Jaden Higgins, like, he's got the height, he's got the capability. I think he's coming from a colder weather school. So he might be able to handle being in Green Bay, versus if you go for like somebody like McMillan. If you look at McMillan, you look at his log, he puts up all of his numbers against some really weak teams. So whoever, drafts him, there might be some learning curves there, and I don't think he's going to be all that great. He's even admitted he doesn't even watch football. So this guy being the number 1 wide receiver is kind of a head scratcher.
Right.
Well, that's why I'm hoping we drop back, not out of the first, pick up some extra picks, then maybe we can get whatever an edge. Defensive tackle, maybe a corner, whatever, and then the second round, whatever, we could get Jaden Higgins. I also like Jalen Royals out of Utah State, and I also like the other guy from Iowa State, Jalen Knoll.
So, Go Pack, I asked Steve this, but in division trade, if Lions were wanting to move up, would you trade with the Lions with 23?
What would the trade be?
Just in general. I'm not saying.
It really depends on what was already taken already and what's available.
Right. And here's the thing. Trading up to 23, it really depends on what's available to the Lions that they want there too. Because you just said, I've heard edge, wide receiver, or defensive tackle is pretty much what all the Packer fans have said back and forth between the first and second rounds. They don't care what order it's in, but that's the 3 positions they're looking at in those 2 rounds.
Is there a certain need the Lions need?
The Lions need edge. But if the top 4 edge are gone, there isn't another edge worthy of a pick ahead of the Lions right there.
Who's your top 4 edge?
Why do you trade up?
What are you
So
going to
would
get?
For some reason, they're saying Shamir Stewart's still a top 4 edge, and he's not. So I don't include him in that list.
I'm saying this, JB, because who knows? Because Brad could pull something out of his pocket and make some sort of trade.
I understand that, but at the same time, we've seen him sit right there and take our picks and trade the other pick that he has in that round.
see,
We've seen all sorts of shit.
I heard that if we would move back, it would be with the Eagles, and that is for the Eagles to come up to 23 to get Pierce.
Right. And that's number 4 right there. When you cut out Shamir Stewart, James Pierce is the 4th best defensive end. Because otherwise he'd be 5th, and I don't think so. I think he's way better than Shamir Stewart.
Because if we get Jaden Higgins on the second day, I'm going to be jumping out to go get his rookie cards left and right.
Now, Steve, you've been hanging out with me for almost, 2 years, 3 years
now?
You were on that show when I was talking about the Hendon Hooker injury, and I called it on that show with all those guys when I said, we just signed JT Barrett to be our backup assistant QB coach. We don't have an athletic QB on this roster. The most athletic QB in this draft just got hurt. If he's there in the 3rd round, he'll be a Lion. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want to talk about calling your shot the day after a kid gets hurt?
Yeah. Well, JB, that's one thing what I enjoyed about you and Main Event Mike. You guys, call things to the point and whatever and make logic sense, and that's what makes the show fun. This is what I enjoy talking football, whatever with a lot of you guys and so forth. I mean, this is great.
Yep, and this forum, I'm going to do it every day this way from now on until the news gets so much that I got to do the news first, and then I'll open it up to people.
Now, I saw last night that Main Event Mike was supposed to have a show.
Right, he's still getting everything locked down for his show.
Okay, good.
On the computer, but he will be getting it going on that night, on Thursday.
On Thursday? Should be a Thursday night?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Cool, I'm ready.
That being said, I want to say thank you to each one of you for being here because we're getting at that time we're up against it. I got to go change my background for a second to be able to do the outro. But I want to say thank you, everybody. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love, everybody. And we will see you
soon.
Go,
Pat, go. It's nice to meet you, bro.
Go, Pat, go all day.
FTP.